Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Ben's Kitchen. Today what we're going to be doing is curing some regular salmon fillets that can be bought in any of your local grocery stores. Of course, we want to assure that those are fresh because we're going to be eating them raw, so we want to make sure that they're as fresh as possible. But I'm going to take you guys through a curing technique that will actually allow you to make your own sashimi at home. Now, this is only for salmon, so I want to be very clear about that. Don't do it with any other kind of fish because I just simply don't know what would occur. Nonetheless, the first step is that we're going to take the fish out of the packaging, wash it off real good, get the slime off, and then we're going to salt it after we pat it dry. That is, we're going to pat it dry after we get the water, after we get the slime off and all that jazz. And then we're going to put as much salt as we can on the fish, just covering all surfaces. Doesn't matter what kind of salt you use, and you can't over salt it. Later, we're going to submerge it in some rice vinegar to chemically cook the fish. And then finally, what we're going to do is wait for 48 hours before we end up slicing up the fish, defrosting it, and eating it. Yeah, so it's gonna be good. All right, guys, so that's the video for today, so please stay tuned. And yeah, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have just finished salting, just covering this piece of salmon with salt as best as I can in preparation of sticking it in the fridge for 1 hour, and then once we're done here, it's going to suck off any other moisture that was on the fish. That's very key to the curing process. Something else that I did, and this is just a regular piece of salmon. You want to get a piece that's pretty thick, as you can see here. So that whenever you are chemically cooking it with the rice vinegar, which is the second step, it doesn't take too much of your meat away while cooking the outside. So anyway, essentially what I'm doing is I've taken out this piece of fish. I've washed it directly out of the package. I washed it real good, got some of the, just kind of the slime off, I suppose. And then patted it dry, nice and dry, and then I've covered it in salt. Whatever kind of salt you wish to use is fine. So anyway, I'm putting this now in the fridge for 1 hour, and then I'll come back and submerge it in the rice vinegar. Okay, folks, that first hour is up. Let me go ahead and turn that off because that's super annoying. All right, now, this is the fun part. Just gonna grab our salmon. Oh, got some moisture come off of it, as you can see here. So I'm just gonna pat that down with a paper towel. Just get that settled real quick. All right. Let's go into my dirty. No more paper towels. All right, well, let's go backup plan. You can use a real towel if you really need to. Oh, that's the sauce drawer. Y'all had this? That jalapeno ranch. Stay woke. All right. Okay, let's use the shittiest. Yeah, there we go. Shittiest one I got. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna pat down the salmon. Just patting it down. No big deal. This towel is incredibly clean, as are my hands. In the prior shot, you may have seen a little dirt on underneath my fingernails. That was just some garden dirt. Nothing to be alarmed about. Just, typical old garden dirt. It's good for you. All right. Okay, cool. Now here is the rice vinegar. I'm just going to set this down real quick, and then I'm going to open this. Oh, that hurts. I'm in some serious pain because of my arm here. Got to get it operated on this summer. But nonetheless, Here we are. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fully submerge this. So it's gonna take just about all of the bottle. Okay. And then what I like to do, just throw in a little bit of water. So I'm gonna get some cubes out of the ice tray and put that in there. Anyway, this is gonna set just like this, fully submerged, for an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that hour on there, and then I'm gonna get some ice out of my freezer here. Oh man, this hurts. The ice maker isn't working too well. Shocker. Samsung fridges suck. Don't ever get one. Okay, so just put a few ice cubes in there. Those will melt. That gives us the amount of water that we need. It's really not much. This is hard to do with one hand. Whatever. You guys get the idea. I'm putting the ice in here. Alright. Yep. So for an hour, then I'll come back. We'll pat it dry, and then we'll throw it in the freezer for 2 days. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So we have our annoying timer going off. Just gonna go ahead and turn that off. All right, so we have now been in the fridge for 1 hour, and I'll just so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull this out. You can see that it's kind of got a different color to it. It's kind of lightened up. That's the chemical cook. So in essence, I'm just gonna drain her off. You know, pretty simple stuff. Just drain her down there, and then we're gonna pat it dry, and then put it into. And then we're gonna. Oh shit! Son of a bitch. Well, that'll come off in the freezing. That's all good. So anyway, we're gonna pat her dry. I knew that was gonna happen. So frustrating. Got my rice cooker ready to go for 2 days from now. I actually have another one that has been in the freezer for 2 days that I'm fixing to thaw, and then I'll cut it and I'll show you guys how that's done. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just taking off all the excess water here. I'm gonna take all the excess off the back as well. You see some of those scales there. That's kind of funny. We'll cut off the skin, so you're not eating skin. So fear not. But anyway, so I'm gonna put this in a freezer bag. It's all nice and dry. We want to get as much moisture off as possible because that's where bacteria can live. That's why we salted it and leached out as much moisture as possible. But anyway, so, and then what's left under this chemically cooked stuff is what you're used to seeing, that beautiful glistening sashimi. So I'm gonna put this in a bag, and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna do from there. I think we'll probably cut along here, and we'll have what's known as the maki, which is the piece of fish, and then we'll just kind of cut it against the grain, make sure there's no scales in there. Anyway, all right folks, we'll see you in 2 days. Okay folks, so here is the other one that we had freezing for 2 full days, 48 hours. I'm just gonna put that in here next to my leftover rice. That's always the best way to make fried rice, by the way, is you make rice the day before, then you put it in the fridge, and then you can fry it. And I'll also put this next to this neat thing that I found today, Milky's. So it's Korea's #1 cream soda, supposedly. So pretty stoked about that. This will thaw in a few hours, and then we'll get to cutting it and go from there. So, all right, guys. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another portion of Ben's Kitchen. So, as mentioned before, we have salted, we have done the chemical cooking with the rice vinegar, and then 2 days in the freezer. I've since thawed this. Let's go ahead and make our maki. What you should be able to see in there is that beautiful color of the sashimi that we're used to. That's what we're gonna get, and then we'll cut the rest of the fat off of that, or the cooked pieces off of that. I'll just lay this here. But anyway, so I'm just gonna start it out like this, skin side up, and then we're just gonna kind of saw it back and forth. My knife is extremely sharp, so hopefully this is a pretty uneventful show here. Sometimes I'm not so good at this. It looks like today I'm gonna get it. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get the skin off there. I'll just set that aside. But you can kind of get the idea here of seeing, you know, kind of the coloration of the fish. I mean, it looks kind of weird because that's the vein area, like the blood vein or whatever it's called. So I'll probably take that out here shortly, but anyway, let's go ahead and keep working on this over on the side. I'll probably dig into that and cut off a little bit more, and then we'll do this piece as well. That's really where you're gonna get that beautiful cross section you can see in there, that fat. Really looking good. So anyway, I'm just gonna cut this off. Again, hoping that this is uneventful. Don't feel like going to the emergency room right now. And Jess, thank you for filming this. Appreciate it. I've been meaning to do this for a while so that I could, instead of just rattling off the recipe, I could actually show you how it's done to all you folks at home that have been watching me for years. I only put out a video ever so often. I certainly appreciate you sticking around nonetheless. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take that and lop it right off there. And then what I want to do is I really want to get a towel, and I don't have a paper towel, so I'm just going to use this towel here. Remember, I ran out of paper towels earlier, so we're just kind of patting the meat, patting that side, and we're going to pat the other side. And then essentially what we're going to do is we're going to get a nice cross section here, and we're going to start to cut it in a way that is pretty. Okay, so let's go ahead and start cutting the fish. I believe if I do it in this way, it should give a pretty good desired result. I forget exactly how to do it. You kind of got to get it going, and then you can figure out where you are. How do I do this? Is it this way? No, it's not that way. Yeah, it's this way. I'm doing it right, I think. Yeah, you just kind of cut these little slices, and then tastes amazing. Sashimi. So, anyway, I'm gonna continue to cut this. This isn't the prettiest piece of fish that I've seen, but boy, does it ever taste good. So we'll just lay this out, and then I'm gonna just eat this with rice. Just a little bit of nishiki rice, you know, sushi rice. You can get Calrose as well. That's a good brand. Nishiki is the brand that I'm using today. And yeah, pretty much I just put a little bit of salt and a little bit of rice vinegar in the rice itself. And then I'm just gonna put a little brush of what do you call that stuff? Soy sauce over the top of this. And then I'll be in paradise. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll show you guys a picture of the finished product, but I mean, it's pretty much just this, you know, it's raw fish. So I'm excited. I'm not gonna shape any sushi pieces. I don't really feel like doing that because it's really hard, and sticky and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, but I'll see you here in a little bit with the plate. Okay, so I've got it all cut up now, and you know, it doesn't really look like much, I will say, but it really tastes good. I've had a prettier cut before on the fish. That's why this is an art. But you put just a little soy sauce over the top of this, and it just makes this fish absolutely sing. So I highly recommend that you guys try this. Don't skimp on the time that it stays in the freezer. That's 2 days, 48 hours. Make sure that you do not do less. You can do more, you can't do less. So anyway, again, this is probably like the 10th time that I've done this, and it's just spectacular. So I hope that you guys enjoy it if you try it yourself. And yeah, from my kitchen to your kitchen, have a good one. Arigato gozaimasu. I always forget to do this. It's like one of the most important parts of any like TV show where people are cooking. It's actually getting the food and eating it. So I'm just gonna dip this in my soy sauce. It's velvety, smooth, no fishy flavor whatsoever. It's just incredible. You put a little bit of that rice. Wow. So, anyway, from my kitchen to yours for the second time. Good eating.